How you doing, everyone? Scott here, back with a CD and vinyl update. One CD actually, and the rest is going to be vinyl. I've bought quite a lot in the last week or so, and I wanted to kind of get it out of the way while it was all fresh in my head. Going to start with the CD, and the CD was to complete this singer's discography with this certain band, and it's going to be Hanging in the Balance by Metal Church, featuring Mike Howe on vocals. Bit of a shocker to hear that he'd passed away, and in the manner that he passed away. It's a real shame, actually, it's one of those bands that I really wanted to see live and kind of never got the chance to with Mike Howe. My first album that I bought from Metal Church was Blessing in Disguise, Mike Howe's first album with Metal Church, so he was kind of always the voice of Metal Church for me. So yeah, it's a real shame, but it kind of gave me a kick up the arse to go out and pick up this from 1993. Never been issued on vinyl, so the CD is a bit of a bastard to try and get, and if you do find that it's, you know, it's pricier than most, but I saw it for a pretty decent price, so I thought I would quickly grab it and complete my discography of Metal Church with Mike Howe on vocals. It doesn't disappoint. I'd only heard maybe a few songs, maybe the first 3 songs or something off this album before, but when I chucked this on and listened to the whole thing, this is a great album, and probably gets ignored by a lot because it's not the easiest album to get. The cover is phenomenal. I know that's such a bad taste cover, but I don't know, I'm kind of drawn to these random, weird, grim looking covers. But yeah, don't sit on this album. It's awesome. And it's because it's Metal Church. It's just, Metal Church have always been so consistent from start, from their first album to their last album, or their latest album. Whether it's David Wayne or Ronnie Monroe or Mike Howe, they've just got a certain sound that you know it's Metal Church, especially Mike Howe. He's got that voice that you know exactly who's singing. You know, he's always got those vocal melodies with the high harmonies over the top, kind of layered over the top, and you know exactly who's singing when Mike Howe is on vocals. But it's a bit of a, what I would say, it's a bit of a, I don't know, it's not an upbeat album. It is still an excellent album, but in that sense, it's like there's a song on this called Little Boy, or was it Conductor? I think it was Little Boy, which was a bit, I don't know. That was the one song on this that I wasn't really too fussed for, but the rest is absolutely awesome. So, like I said, check this album out. It's brilliant. So that completes my Metal Church with Mike Howe. So R.I.P. Mike Howe. It's a real shame. And what I was going to say about this is, if this was released next week, you wouldn't bat an eyelid, because it's a really timeless sounding album. And I think that's what Metal Church kind of capture a lot of the time in their albums, that, you know, I was just sitting listening to it and I thought, this could have come out last week. It's that kind of sound. They've just always kept that consistent sound, and that's what I love about Metal Church. So that's all I'll say. There we go. Hanging in the Balance. Probably not a great title for obviously what's happened, but there we go. Completes my Metal Church with Mike Howe. So on to the vinyl now. Also from 1993, Cathedral and the Ethereal Mirror released on Earache. I think this is a reissue from 2018. I've just, as you guys probably know if you've been watching my updates, I've just kind of discovered Cathedral this year. Picked this up first because it was cheap, kind of like the cover. Thought it was awesome. Then picked up Carnival Bazaar. awesome as well. But yeah, I had a look on Amazon and this was going really cheap, so I thought I'm going to pick it up. First one came, this is my second copy, the first one came just as is, with the sticker plastered on the front, lying at the back door in the rain. And I just thought, nah, fuck that. I didn't even want to know. I wasn't even going to open it and see if it was good or not. I mean, there was a couple of wee bends in it. I thought that's just not on. So I went and complained, got sent another one, and got it for half price. I got half the record back. I was going for a freebie, but they weren't having it. So I really kind of got this for £7.50 or something like that. So Cathedral and the Ethereal Mirror, absolutely awesome. And it's not an album I thought I would like, but it's one of those that just stick in your head. What's the song I love off that? Ride. That is a fucking awesome song. Right, moving on to, I would say maybe the dud in the pack. I've seen people show this. I can't really remember if it had positive reviews or negative reviews. You know, when you watch so many videos, you do kind of forget, and it's not an album that's shown all the time. But I'm sure if it was a negative review, it kind of stuck out. But it's Australian band Tyramus, or Tyramus. This is Queen of Thieves, released in 1988 on Metal Blade Records. I was not impressed with this. I've only listened to this once, but the vocals on this are rotten. I don't know. I just thought they were out of tune, out of key. I don't know if that's what their aim was, but if it was, I don't know why. But this was a bit of a hard listen for me. I mean, even it got into like the third or fourth song, I just thought I could easily put this off because the vocals were just grating on me. I don't know. I'll give it another couple of listens because people have shown this. I mean, when people show albums like this and I don't like them, I always think, am I missing something? But yeah, the vocals just did not do much for me on this. It was just really, I don't know, just weird and crap. So yeah, Tyramus, Australian band. That's all I can really say. So yeah. Next is, this is a band that I only know this album, but I will be going to check out a lot more of their stuff. They're kind of like a modern thrash, blackened thrash metal band. I honestly don't know much about them. But this came up cheap on Amazon. It could have been a year ago, and I never pulled the trigger, and then when I went to pull the trigger, it had sold out, or it was out of stock. So I've kind of been waiting for it to come back in stock. It finally did, for as cheap as it was before, so I jumped on it, and it's Mortis and The Sound of Steel. This is got a, it came with a, yeah, so I was going to put this on the front. I don't mind, I like putting the hype stickers on the front of the album, but this doesn't have much stick to it, so I put it on this instead. So, Ex Mortis deliver a visceral call to arms in a maelstrom of thrashing neoclassical blackened death. I mean, that sounds awesome. This is one of 400 on clear with blue and orange splatter. So that's what the vinyl looks like. But yeah, I wouldn't say it was really death. I would say it was more, I mean, neoclassical's right. I mean, the guitars in it are awesome. It's really well produced. You know, got those blackened vocals. And I wouldn't say it was all neoclassical, because that could kind of put people off, I would think. But it's just a good mix of everything mentioned. So it's got that thrash, it's got the blackened vocals. I wouldn't say it was death, maybe on the verge of death, but I wouldn't say so. Really melodic. I mean, if you're going to check out the songs, Make Haste. That opens the album. Love that. The song that really stands out for me in this is Into the Maw of Hell. It's got those great melodies. It's got the kind of, it's got the galloping riffs like Iron Maiden. It's got the thrash metal breakdowns. You know, it's just got a mix of all these good things put together. It just makes a great album. So, like I said, there's not really much else I can say about Ex Mortis because I don't really know much about them, but check out this. And a few of their albums are cheap on Amazon, so I'll definitely be picking up more of these guys, and the artwork's quality as well. So, there we go, Ex Mortis and The Sound of Steel. I think that was released in 2018. Yeah, 2018 on Prosthetic Records. Next up, one that Cloudy is going to be proud of. Now, I'm on record saying that I didn't like this album. But I've now opened my mind to this subgenre of metal. Apart from the bands that I usually mention. And it's more like the new wave of traditional heavy metal. Night Demon and Curse of the Damned. Now, this has actually been sitting in my want list on Amazon for, it could be 2 years. I don't know why. I think it's probably just because it was cheap. I kind of stuck it in my want list just if I was kind of felt like I'd pull the trigger on it, but I never did. And I remember listening to this a couple of times on YouTube, probably not the whole album. But, you know, I just hadn't opened my mind to this kind of, I always kind of thought it was generic, the new wave of traditional heavy metal. Really kind of templated, cookie cutter kind of stuff. But if you have been following my channel the last year or so, you'll know that I've opened and embraced the new wave of traditional heavy metal, and this is awesome. You know, I don't know why I've been sitting on all these albums for so long, but I have. But I'm now getting around to picking these up. I think this is their debut from 2014 or something like that. Yeah, 2014 on Steam Hammer. I think they've got a second album out as well, but I've not really tracked that down yet. But, I mean, Screams in the Night, which kicks off the album, is awesome. Title track's great. Satan's a great song. Howling Man's a great song. It's just, I mean, I think side one outshines side two a little bit, but still really, really good. I think I got this for about 14 quid, and it comes with the CD as well, so I'm not complaining. But yeah, check it out, Night Demon. Awesome. Next one is an album that I saw on my online shop that I use, and it kind of piqued my interest, and it was a higher price than I'd really want to pay for it because I'd never really heard it. But the artwork is awesome. So I thought, do you know what, I'll nip off, I'll go on to eBay and I'll check if it's on eBay, and there was one on eBay for a £5 cheaper, and it was labelled as kind of near mint, not played, unplayed. So I jumped on it, and it is Talion, Killing the World. So Talion are a metal band from England, which play in the vein of US power metal. I mean, look at that cover. That is awesome. 7 songs, so it's not a long album, but every song is superb. This is like a perfect album. I mean, it's hard to call a 7-song album perfect, but it is. There's not a bad track on this. A really enjoyable listen as well. Released on Major Records, I think it was 1989. Yeah, 1989. Check this out. It's awesome. So, Talion and Killing the World. Kind of US power metal mixed with a bit of thrash, heavy metal, kind of all mixed in. Brilliant. So, check them out if you haven't. And the last 3 are going to be a job lot that I got on eBay thanks to Metal Mickey. Mike put a message in our kind of group chat thing and said these albums are like a job lot coming up, and the guy's accepting pretty good offers for it. So I kind of jumped on. The first 2 of these albums I've been looking for a couple of years at least, but these all came together. So I thought, you know what, it's an absolute bonus. The first 2 I've got on CD, but when you see them on vinyl, the price is right up there, that you just don't want to pay that. So I put an offer in for this job lot. It was declined straight away, so I thought, right, I'm not fucking around because people are going to be all over this. So I just messaged the guy. I said, look, what's your best price for this job lot? And he said, delivered for 45 quid. So I thought, right, done deal. Because, I mean, some of these albums you see for £30 each. So I thought, it's a steal. So first one is Sabbath and A History of a Time to Come. Amazing UK thrash debut from 1987. Featuring Andy Sneap. You all know Andy Sneap. He just produces every metal album known to man from like in the last 10 years. And also features Martin Walkier, who went on to form Skyclad. So yeah, an absolute beast of an album, really aggressive. It's a different take on UK thrash from what you would be used to, like Toranaga or Acid Rain. It's just that bit more, it's got a bit more bite to it, aggressive. Martin Walkier's vocals are just snappy and angry and awesome. So I was really happy to get that released on Noise, 1987. History of a Time to Come. Next up is their second album, Dreamweaver. So this is kind of like a notch up from the debut. If you don't know Sabbath, this is like the debut turned up to like 100. So you do have to be in a certain mindset to listen to this album, I think, because there's a lot to take in. Martin Walkier's vocals are just like, they're rapid. The songs are faster, harder. There's a lot of stuff going on. Vocally, musically, it's a lot to take. You kind of got to be on the ball when you're listening to this album, or you'll just completely lose where you are. Again, with Andy Sneap on guitar. But yeah, really happy to have that. I mean, when you see that, normally you're looking at 30 quid or more. So, an absolute steal. Dreamweaver. When's that from? 1989? Again, super prepared. I don't know. I'm going to say 1989. 1989. Anyway, and the last one, and this is the one that kind of probably gets overlooked because there's a change in lineup from the band, but it's again their third album, Sabbath, and Morning Has Broken. So Martin Walkier is out. Richie Desmond is in. So you've gone from a kind of aggressive approach, you know, snappy lyrics, to kind of clean singing, really. It's not even aggressive, it's just more, I would say, kind of like Bruce Dickinson in some ways. Again, you've still got Andy Sneap on guitar. He's the kind of the backbone of the band, really. But Richie Desmond does a great job. I mean, it doesn't take away from the album. It's just different. It's not as fast. It's a notch down from the first two, definitely. But it's still definitely worth your time. I mean, the song Paint the World Black is awesome. Dumbstruck, I think, is the instrumental, which always loses me. I mean, that was what it was like with Ex Mortis. It's got 2 instrumentals on it. What was the point in that? I always just find instrumentals pointless. Like, if it's a really great instrumental, pump it up by putting some vocals on it. But there is a kind of a nod to the disappearance of Martin Walkier, the demise of history. So first album was obviously A History of a Time to Come, and the demise of history to kind of say, yeah, Martin Walkier's fucked off. So, but yeah, don't sit on this album. It's still an excellent album, just different. from what you'd expect from the first two Sabbath albums, released in 1991, also on Noise Records. So, there we go. That is the update done. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks to everyone who watched my Lizzie Borden album ranking. I knew it wouldn't be like a massively popular album ranking. It's a bit different. It's a bit more underground, but than your usual album rankings. But it was one that I really wanted to do, so I appreciate you guys watching and commenting and stuff. I'll be back very soon. In the meantime, let me know what you think of my pickups, and I'll see you guys later. Cheers.